Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next panel discussion, My Way in Tech. It is a very wide, very broad subject, but I'm sure that my today's guest will help you navigate better in planning your future job or career, or even career change in the tech industry and industries related to it. Hopefully, even when navigating the challenges that you have with your startups or your companies that are maybe a bit stuck in a work rut and need clever and impactful insight. This is exactly what we will be showcasing today, since my fellow speakers will be leading by their own example, as their insights are based on experience in tech industries or industries related to it. They're on the forefront of creating meaningful impact with the work that they have been doing. What we are aiming for today is to explore diverse career paths, opportunities in the tech industry through candid exchange of experience by my guests today. And they are Ms. Teuta Duletic, Managing Director at Lursen Group. Teuta, hello. Okay. With us is also Mr. Anton Grebin, Software Engineer at Noom Incorporate. Anton.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Professor Alen Jugovic, the Dean at Maritime Studies at Rijeka University. Hello, Alen.
Hello, but ex-dean, my mandate finished 6 years, so you cannot go be anymore.
Oh, sorry. Okay, but the professor
No
still. Sorry. And Ms. Martina Silov, Executive Director at Crow AI.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Great. So before we start the conversation, I would like to make a short introduction since I still haven't said my name. So my name is Isabella Werter, and I will be your host today. Also, this whole panel discussion is being recorded, and it will be on the Virtual Tech Job Expo platform in a few days' time. What I do encourage you is for you to be very proactive during our conversation. So please post questions through the Q&A and comment section. So Professor Jugovic, I'll start with you, okay, to make an amend on myself. With this panel, what we're trying to do is to broaden the mindset of who and how we can be a part of new technologies. Maritime transport and the whole maritime sector is crucial in the way that the economy works today. Can you just give us an insight on how much we depend on it? Because we, from inland, find it a niche, but globally, it certainly isn't a niche. It's one of the most powerful sectors in the world.
Thank you very much, and greetings to all hearing this panel. Also, I will start to try explain how important the maritime domain is and the maritime traffic. And Teuta, you can freely join me in discussing this, because if somebody can say from the angle of her, is for sure the she. 75% of all the goods in the world is passing through sea, so it can be more important than that. What's also important, I have fun expression to my students. They say that the God has to be the feudalist or something like that, because he put all the goods in the part of the world where it's not necessary. So we need maritime traffic to put it on the place of the world where it's very necessary. So this is the way we can talk about maritime traffic and its needs to come from the countries that are not so developed, or they have some resources, to the countries that are very much developed, and they are prosecuting in the very effective way. So this is the way how the maritime traffic includes. Also, the ships are big. The ships has a big capacity. They can long way of life for 20, 40, 50 years. It all depends about the technology. And the maritime traffic also is more flexibility. You can join lots of different technologies, ways, sea, river, land, so on. So it has lots of advantages and a very small number of disadvantages.
That sounds like a very good pitch for the career in your sector. When we first spoke the other day, you said, I'm not a typical tech guy. I'm not a typical tech person. My background is in economics.
Yes.
Economics, but still, the maritime studies incorporate so much technology into everyday workshops and studies. Can you provide us with some examples of how you do it? What is a typical day at the office at the Maritime Studies in Rijeka?
Yeah, for the professor, for the faculty, it's sometimes very hard to explain students what they're expecting from them when they come to the ships or shipyards or they come to the ports, because it's not each day the same. Like, for example, your economics, go to some firm office and you work some materials. For the students who drive ships, who work in mechanics, they have to visual what they're gonna do in the future. So for this, we have simulators, and this is the modern technology. We have also the VR, it's virtual reality for the students. So for example, in our workshop at Torpedo, the students wear glasses for VR and they're walking on the machine and throwing through all the ships which come here in our ports or wherever in the world. We receive the movies about the ship. So when they come to the ship one time, they know the ship, they're familiar with all the parts of the ship. So for them, this is very, very good. Also, you have to know that big ships are not driving by your eyes. They are driving by seeing the technology, seeing mirrors, seeing data, and then you drive, because you cannot drive just with your eyes. So technology is very important for all the students which want to be the salesman one day. Also, for the students that work in machinery, we have a machine on the land which you use students to try and simulate different events that happen to the ship, from the fire to the regular working. So also in this way, we're trying to put them in the occasions they're going to have in their future life, in their future jobs.
Can we be your guest at the simulation parts of the study?
All of you are invited. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I think that your students are very blessed with the possibility of having those.
Yeah, this is very interesting. This simulator also, they have 360 degrees, like you are in the real ship. Sometimes the people get the noses because you are moving like the ship. So if you put some bad weather or something like that, so you have a feeling that really you are on the ship, you know?
So it's not for the faint-hearted.
No. But the last president of Croatia, what was here in a simulator opening, he was not so good. He went out, but he was not so feeling very well, you know, after this drive.
Okay. So we have an exclusive also here today. Thank you, Alan. Martina, you're in the front of a remarkable AI ecosystem in Croatia called the CRO AI that gathers the stakeholders on the subject of AI, the scientists, the politicians, the companies, the experts, the banks. What would be my first thought is this woman knows everything about AI. She's tech savvy and she has been doing it her whole life. But it's not true, isn't it? What was your way in tech?
Exactly. So I have a different story. So thank you for this question. I actually love it. But I don't have 20 years of experience in AI and I don't have a tech background. I love tech. I enjoy reading about AI, enjoy learning about AI, but I don't have a huge experience. But I think that's the reason why we were able to create an association that gets together politicians, ministers, on the other side, business people, academia, art people, lawyers, doctors, and so on. Because the idea of CRO-AI, Croatian Artificial Intelligence Association, is that we all together can create a bigger ecosystem. And we deeply believe that what the internet was for the last 30 years, the next 30 years will be about AI. So if you had an association about internet 30 years ago, everybody would be in the association right now. The same goes for AI. If we manage to get together all these different cool, weird people with weird brains in the same place, then you can create magic. Then you can create something that has never been seen in this area before. And that's exactly what we are doing, because when you put a startup with a startup, they can just complain to each other, believe me. Or if you put bank people with the bank people, it's going to be fun talk. So that's not the idea. Let's create value between banks and startups with designers with media with, and so on. That's the way you create magic. And I don't, maybe it's an offense to engineers, but I doubt that engineer could be able to do something like that, what we are right now creating in AI, in CRO-AI. And I really deeply believe that the reason why we managed to do that, because we have all people from non-tech world, and we managed to connect the non-tech people with tech people. And so I believe that's the core of our magic, let's say it like that.
Dobra, what type of weird brain do you have for making it possible in this AI-oriented ecosystem?
I would say I love to connect people. That's like my magic, and I love to see what you, Isabella, are doing, or what Professor is doing, or what Teuta is doing, what Tom is doing, and how can I connect you with other people, and how can you create a good match? How can you build a community where everybody's like helping each other? That's my type of brain, and I love to organize things. I love to have bigger picture of the things, and I love to have I see everything that we're doing as a tool. We have a lot of events, we have a lot of educational sessions and so on. We have a huge network of partners in Europe. We are one of the I would say loudest organization regarding AI in Europe and so on. But those are all tools to create the ecosystem in Croatia and to be like an example in AI in the world. So I would say that kind of brain.
Okay, so talking about a lot of different brains and a variety of skill needed in the tech industry, what connects them should be a certain mindset or a culture, because you need to bridge the diversity that you already mentioned between the sectors. What are the skills that are needed for tomorrow? What would you like for the next generation of employees on the tech industry sector to think about, act upon, focus on, especially in Croatia when we compare ourselves to the knowledge and skills in Europe, US, or even more global?
You know, everybody's talking recently about tech skills and how you need to be a good programmer or something like that. But eventually, I think in the next couple of years, we will have so many tools that will be able to do our job even better than we do it. And then you won't be judged, or you won't be paid by your skills that you have in programming and so on. And what other research says to us is that the top 5 skills are not tech skills that we will be needing in the next 5 to 10 years. Those are the skills that we need is creativity, decision making, I don't know, for example, I would say critical thinking and so on. So those are the skills that we need. We need to see, for example, other problems and to see how we can solve them. So I would say analytical thinking also. So those are the 4 to 5 top skills that we will need in the next couple of years. Of course, it's going to be great if you have good engineering skills. That's great. It will always be great. But besides that, you will also need other skills that is going to, I would say, put you in front of your generation.
Mm-hmm. And we have one of those software engineers with us today that you have mentioned prior. What I would like to emphasize that for connecting all the dots in this new tech products or services, as we have already said, you need a community of creative and a variety of creative minds. So you need engineers, you need psychologists, you need sociologists, you need mathematicians. Sometimes you even need doctors, you need scientists. And that sounds much like a community and company Anton is working for. Noon is a consumer-led digital health company that helps people live healthier, happier lives. With you being a software engineer, are the people that are that you are working closest with in creating products also tech people?
I mean, tech is a very broad term, isn't it? So,
and if I might say, if I just can say, you're the only one standing. You look really like a software engineer, knowing that you can't sit all day and work.
Exactly. So our company is about building healthy habits, and I built one of those habits myself. Whenever I'm in a Zoom meeting, I will always raise my desk and stand. That way, I don't sit for 8 hours a day. I sit for only 5 hours a day. But yes, to your question, I work for Noom. Noom is a consumer health company based in the States. And out of 1,000 employees in the company, we have 180 engineers. That's only 18%. Majority of the company is people who work with humans, not machines. So this is clinicians, personal trainers. This is, customer support, who will also speak directly with the humans. This is our curriculum editors, so content writers. And this is our product managers. And like when it comes to product, I think the key skill that you need to have is understanding the human, like the user's problems behind what you want to build. So pretty much the whole company is oriented towards end users, towards humans, and this is visible in our diverse skill set that we hire.
I should unmute myself. It sounds very interesting on everyday basis, and I see that you can learn a lot from your colleagues, and not just in making the product work, but also this mindset of growth and different creations. And the panel that I hosted before, it was about the idea being brought to life. So all this community needed to get there. But what was your career path before? We're talking about my way in tech. I know that you are the tech person. You're not from the economics.
Correct. Yeah, I started early on playing with computers. I guess learning to play is what we do when we are kids, and I see that now in my own kids. And learning to play is what happens even today on my day-to-day work. I'm curious. Curiosity is what powers my growth, I would say. I want to understand how things work, how machines work. I also want to understand how humans work, how human habits work, how behavior change work. And that's the part of the company that deals with psychology. Before Noom, I was spent a few years at Google, where I worked on Google Maps and helping people find their shortest paths from A to B. And before that, I did 2 internships at Facebook. And Facebook back then, this was 2012, like all about making people more connected, all about making communities, messages, groups, and it was quite an exciting time to be there at Facebook. So that's pretty much it. I was like tech, very deep into tech, very deep into trying to understand how things work. But today, like I think I'm very happy, since I use the learnings that my company sells. I use those learnings to improve my own well-being. And that's super important in the modern like day-to-day.
Yes, because when we say technology, we think rigid, cold, but it could be a life-changing tool and help us to change really habits. And what you said, are you proud of working in the industry that you're working for?
Yeah, I mean,
let's make it a bit emotional, please.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a story. When I joined this company, this was 4 years ago. I actually moved my starting day 1 week before, so I can join their offsite. And their offsite was it was a Tough Mudder race. This is a race that happens all around the world. But I was blown away that like 90% of engineers joined the race and completed it. So the company really lives this culture of being active, being curious, and thinking about how they do things in their day-to-day lives, so they don't like stress out, so they don't overwork themselves, so they don't like eat non-healthy and stuff like that. So I'm really proud, and it has impact not only on my life but my family's life as well.
Of course, it's always the community, and it seems like a good tech real life balance that you have created.
Yep.
Great, because most of the people in tech industry still can't do it, but so you can share some knowledge even on a life work balance. Thank you, Anton. Teuta, your way in tech formally started when you enrolled in the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Rijeka. I presume there was some skepticism at the time.
Maybe, but first of all, it was really nice to hear all of the panelists before, because it's really interesting to hear their way in tech. The same as Alan stated, I finished naval architecture in Technical University in Rijeka. I had the opportunity also to study a bit abroad, which I think also influenced a bit the career path forward. Maybe thinking about the masculine industry and then the women being apart, but I would say numerous times I have spoke about it. I really see all of the men colleagues very positive about it. We are all encountering quite pragmatic teams, so I think that this is belonging to a certain different era. I really need to be quite humble about saying that in terms of the effectiveness of the team, etc., we are not. I think that the talent is something that usually wins, and this is my honest opinion about it.
I like it that you already pinpointed the most important thing. So you're should I say the person, or can I still say the woman in front of a big ship that is called the Lürssen Company? Or the managing director there. Could you just explain to us a bit more what does that role mean? Could you go in depth maybe to exactly the core business of the Lürssen Company? So please, if you can just tell it to the audience.
So it's thank you, Isabella. It's a family-owned company since 1875. So you have this synergy between the traditional and innovative, what I will try just shortly to explain. Currently, we have the 5th generation being on top. The main product is the luxurious mega yachts, like the big ones, 150 plus meters. And this is let's say, luxurious product, which also carries added value. And 3 years ago in Rijeka, it has been established a design and engineering company, where we currently have 170 employees working in the team. The group itself in Germany, so it's located in North Germany, Bremen and Hamburg, being the head offices, and also has numerous international programs such as Lürssen Australia, also the Lürssen Americas. So we are covering also other regions. All of the colleagues we have are naval architects, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, and software developers. And together we are trying to build cool boats together, but also the same as Alan was stating on the beginning, everything in our industry nowadays is completely following the path of digital transformation and green transition, where practically the experience that the captain has when at home and being on a different apps when coming aboard of the vessel, so he's expecting the same level of experience. So this is what we're currently involved. This is the reason that we also have our own small hub of the development projects, such as developing digital twin solutions and other projects we're involved in.
That's what I wanted to ask you, some examples of the projects that your company is currently working on, maybe that will have a major impact with green energy or sustainability or innovation in the future. Is there something that you can tell us now? We won't tell anyone.
So it's two, I would say, for the sake of this discussion, it's two quite important pillars for us. This is this autonomous driving. So the same as we have with the automotive industry, the maritime industry is also following the same path, in a way that on the yachts, which are the luxurious product, you will reach in the beginning more to the semi-autonomy. So you will always feel more safe in the first years that you have a crew on the vessel. However, a lot of the equipment, a lot of the systems is completely being autonomous. And let's say the vessel is starting to think for itself. Second of all, what we are stating is the digital twin methodology. So just maybe to be blunt, to create the same virtual ship, let's say, and that you can easily know when certain systems need to be maintained, when something is happening, to track it closely throughout the life cycle of the product. So each new product to be even more smart and learn from the failures on the existing one. This is the data which is then shared with all of the key equipment makers, because it's always important to think. I like to put the statement the same as a big hotel. On the sea, you have a lot of different disciplines, a lot of different systems in the vessel.
It's a Sudoku game that you need to put together every day.
Fine-tune.
Tune it. Yeah. Thank you, Teuta. Later on, I will ask you more questions about your personal feelings about the jobs that you have, but I will like to go back to Professor Jugovic again. It's only natural when you are choosing a career to ask a question, how easily will I be able to get a job? What is the score at your studies on the scale of 1 to 10 in getting the job and being recruited after the last exam?
Okay, first of all, I would like to be Alan also, because I'm feeling much older when you call me professor. So everybody's Teuta, Martina, Anton, I'm only professor. So let's change this for the start.
Dear Alan.
Okay, nice. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, because of the Teuta and because of Martina, yes, we have to change everything what we do in education. We have to implement all the things that I said, and we are doing this. And our students, they don't have to be afraid where to go afterwards. We have around 85% of the students in first 6 months, they get a job, especially the one who wants to go to sailors, to the ships. 50% they get it in 1 year. And logistics and management now, again, thankfully to Teuta and other projects coming here in Rijeka and worldwide, we also get them very, very soon, you know. But you never can promise every student to get a job. Every student has to pass introduction, go to the company, have tests, have communications. And these skills that you have with Oken, they are the one that will be chosen or not chosen, you know. Education is something just you give him some basic, but everything else what he has to do for himself is something that he does not only by education, by learning from the books, learning from professor. He gets it by living his life, by communicating with the students, by finding something that's very interesting for him. So this is maybe the best thing to find it. The sailors, guys, they are not so maybe important to have all of these skills, I have to say, because they are programmed through some workshops and some finished materials. And then later they have to be more talented or have more skills to go advance. But for the start, they really have a very good chance, and without any special skills, they can find a job without any problem.
How much do you collaborate with companies in the meantime when your students are still students, or do they have the opportunity to meet and to get to know how they're functioning?
Well, from the start, the students, we have contact companies. For example, we have around 100 stipend for the students from the different companies. Then each subject, each professor can engage any expert from the practice to come to his classes and teach the students. So, for example, in my classes, I have Mr. Jako Karmelic, for example, CMA, CGM. I have Mr. Ivic Vodopia, who is from Maersk. They came here, they passed their knowledge. In my subject concerning passage and traffic, I have a director of Adlinia, director of ATSI Marinas, for example. So all the time we are trying to find people to come and share what they do in practice for the students, just to see how it's different than just some theory, you know.
Thank you, Alan.
No problem.
Martina, I'll get back to you now because of what Alan he was opening the subject of bringing interesting individuals and companies to the faculty, but you should also do it with your organization, Crow AI. You bring tech companies to the schools and introduce them probably for the first time of what's behind the scene of everything that they use in their lives, digitally, technology, and other things. Are children surprised with the possibilities of the technologies when you start opening their eyes? And especially that some of the companies that are pioneers in certain sectors globally, but do come from Croatia.
So I would just have a short intro about the project, because I don't know if people know about it, but so we basically saw that the huge chaos is going on right now in the educational system, because everybody's using all sorts of tools for doing their thesis, doing their labs, doing their homeworks, and so on. And it's normal. Every time in history you had a chaos, or you had similar situation, new models came out. So that's the rule. And instead of waiting for new models from US or I don't know, Asia or Brussels, we decided to create a Croatian model. So what we did, we saw a Croatian tech ecosystem as a huge opportunity, as a great tool that we could use. And we have so many incredible, cool tech stories, but I'm not just talking about engineers. I'm talking about startup founders. I'm talking about art managers that connect technology with art, project managers, product managers, lead engineers, lawyers who are really geek, I would say, about technology, implementing technology into law system and so on. And we decided to bring those cool, I would say, cool different stories to Croatian elementary schools and high schools. We also sometimes go to university and faculties. And what they tell the kids, or what they teach the kids, they are not talking about algorithms, networks, AI, and so on, because kids, what we think the kids will eventually learn everything they're supposed to know, because you have all the knowledge is already on the internet. But that first motivation that Croatian tech scene is huge, that Croatia is the second country in Europe by the number of unicorns per capita. It's like 11th country in the world by the number of unicorns per capita. It has a lot of startups, it has a lot of scale-ups, and it's all created on the, I would say, Croatian talent. And all of these people are not creating just products that are relevant for Croatia or for Europe. They are one of the best products in the world, like Photomat, Infobabe, Rimac, and so on, many more companies. And we want to share those hero stories, what we like to call them, to Croatian schools. And schools are amazed. They just tell you like, oh my God, this changed my life. Because it's not like you're going to teach them about technology right now. That's the second phase. And of course you have to do it, and the schools will do it. But you have to have that first push, oh my God, we are creating here a great ecosystem. So the feedback from the students was amazing. Actually, we have been to more than 30 schools. We have reached more than 1,500 students, and we are planning to, it was basically more focused on Zagreb right now, but we are planning to create a bigger network of partners and to spread it across Croatia. And also, thanks to our partners from Europe, we are planning to position that as a Croatian model of doing things, and like helping connect, I would say, companies and tech scene with faculties and universities and high schools. And we are planning to position that model in Europe. So the feedback is quite good. And I think kids in Croatia are not even aware, regarding your question, are not even aware of what's going on and what great stories we created here.
Well, but again, Crow AI creating some new know-how originated from Croatia. So congratulations on that one too. Martina, you were mentioning talents. How are we standing with this talent tech pool here in Croatia and maybe the region? What are at the moment possibilities of employment with remote work and the opening to the world and global companies? A lot of Croatian people work for global companies. What is the situation and employment trends here in Croatia?
You know, I think we are not even aware of what's going on right now because we don't see, I don't know, when you talk about a really, really popular topic right now in Croatian media is autonomous vehicles, and everybody's talking about autonomous vehicles. Nobody's talking how many hundreds of people came to Croatia to work for one of the best companies in the world in that area. Nobody's talking about top talent that came to Croatia just because they want to try, no matter how it ends up, they just want to try. Then you have unicorns that I've already mentioned. So many people are coming to Croatia, like best engineers, business dev people, marketing, and so on, to Croatia to work here for those companies. Nobody's talking about that. But regarding our local talent, I think we are. When you mentioned when you mention tech, everybody's like thinking about, I don't know, Anton and Alan and so on. But the problem is also that we have a lot of great engineers. I don't think, I personally, and I think it's a matter of fact of the view of the whole association, that we wouldn't be able to build our first unicorns or our first startups or our first IT agencies if we didn't have local talent in engineering. So we have great engineers. I would say the next step in our ecosystem is to have great biz dev people, to have great marketing and PR. We have great marketing and PR agencies in Croatia. They're one of the best. But how to connect those people to join startup world? Because you have great engineers, but engineer can't create a story. I'm not saying that every engineer, some of them can do it, but I would say 80% of them can't and won't create a great story about certain product, what they're developing, but you need marketing and PR people. If you want to sell that same story, you need biz dev people, you need people who understand technology, but they're able and capable of selling that same story. Then again, you need, of course, growth people, I don't know, communication and so on. You need to have good finance people from the banks and the ones that we have been talking about at the beginning. You need those people also in the tech field because they know how to scale your business. So I believe that the next generation of, I would say, Croatian tech talent and so on will be those people, and especially regarding AI system and AI ecosystem, that what we often say in our association, that for the last, I would say 30 to 40 years, it was about science and scientists. The last 10 years, it was about engineers. But I would say that the next 10 years about humanists, like who are going to build those products, those AI products, to be more human-centric and so on.
What you said, creating a story and making a storytelling, I can assure you that our software engineer here, Anton, is very good.
Yeah, I can see that actually. So that's the reason when I saw his picture, I was like, he talks quite well. So let's fix this. So yeah, I'm not saying that every engineer is not capable of doing that. Some of them are.
No, I know, but we have one of the best.
Yeah, I can see that.
And he will show it in the next 2 minutes, since I will ask them, or more, don't worry about the minutes, because I will ask him to pitch his job being a software engineer. How, Anton, would you persuade pupils, students, or people dreaming of a career change to follow your footsteps?
Interesting. So I think engineering is all about curiosity. I think just trying to have curiosity to understand how things works, and like not only software and machines, but all kinds of things. For example, many of my colleagues here are also into music. How does a guitar work? How does a piano work? Like, there's a bunch of mathematics behind music as well, and there is a bunch of mathematics behind programming languages. There is also mathematics behind how we speak with our colleagues. For example, to explain an idea or a software system, like you use mathematical language. So I think to become really great engineer, I think mathematical foundations are super important. And I was lucky that throughout my education, I believe that I always got the best mentors in my school or faculty later on. The best mathematics mentors are my mentors. And I also think that the same happened with computer science, and this is why kind of drifted towards this area. But then, to be honest, I actually didn't write code in last maybe 6 months, because at one point in your career, you are no longer writing code, you are organizing things, recognizing people that will do well together. Although I'm not an official people manager, I think leadership is just a critical piece in any career. So pretty much communication and working with people is what's critical then at one point in career. And just to become great, to become good, I'm not saying I'm great, just be with people. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in code. Just have fun at offsites. For example, I insist that I work in an office. I'm not working from home. I insist that I work from an office, and I always invite my colleagues to join me. So although we are all remote here, the Croatian engineers and designers that work for my company, for the company, they are all remote, but we hang out here very often, and that's super important for me. This like human connection. Like TLDR, I don't think there is engineering without humans, and as Martina mentioned, in our future, AI will likely, certainly will take over part of the engineering. Like it will take over part of the things that we've been doing, similar to what happens with self-driving trucks in the States. Yes. And then what is left for us humans is to be with other humans, and that is the critical bit. We must never lose that.
I like one software engineer pitching, "Don't get stuck in code." I love that. Thank you, Anton. What you have also mentioned is mentoring, which was lacking in some formal way in Croatia for the past 10, 20 years. 20 or 30 years, it was normal for a mentor to guide you through your career at the beginning of your career, hopefully even universities. There are some shining examples, but the emphasis on that should be made, especially in the ecosystems like CroAI, and also the company as a Lursen Group, and also faculty where the professors are the ones that will make a huge possible impact on the students. So are you ready to mentor us on not getting stuck in the code?
Yeah, funny. I must say, I will say that as of recently, I'm part of a mentoring network here in Croatia. It's called mentoringbyte.com.
Okay.
And it's just a network where folks can reach out and get connected with mentors. I personally have, I would say, like between 5 and 10 current mentors that I reach out to for specific question in my professional career. For example, I have mentors that are leading engineering teams much bigger than the team that I work on for now. I have mentors in leaderships that they were like chief marketing officers and CEOs of startup, and that are like 10 years ahead of me. And it's critical, I think, for our career advancement, for our growth mindset, it's critical to identify those people that are in some dimension way forward from you, and then keep them close. Have an open, I don't know, email conversation, or be able to call them up for a cup of coffee when you are stuck with a problem. So I think mentoring is what really got me where I am today, and I continue to give back through all kinds of activities to mentor others.
Thank you, Anton. So we know where we can reach you for mentoring. Teuta, maybe just to broaden this question of mentoring, how was your personal pathway to here? Do you remember some of your mentors, and how is it with the Lursen Group? Do you have day-to-day activities on this subject?
Absolutely, yes. I think that for all of us, in this call, we all remember certain persons in our careers that influenced us a lot. And let's say certain words or statements that they have been saying back then now even resonate more with us. So I think that throughout my career, I had the opportunity to work and to collaborate with very wise persons and have learned a lot and continuing to learn a lot. Second of all, this mentoring is quite important for us in Learson. First of all, I think that we are not pioneering anything in a way that all of the smart companies for quite some time already are doing it. So we try to bring in interns from different faculties already during the studies, support them fully on certain theses, bachelor, master, so also to focus on certain topics which are relevant for the company, but they find their spot, let's say, within the topic itself. We have a very, very good collaboration with the University of Rijeka, but also with all of the faculties accordingly, and even throughout the different development projects, we are able to find quite interesting topics for the young colleagues. Second of all, I think this is usually this normal way where you get to know the colleague, and when the colleague is finished with the studies, he's or she is practically able to choose, if you have passed the exam as a company, that they want to stay with us. So I think this is also the shift in the mindset where the students are practically also cherry picking where they want to continue. For us, it's quite important that they always have a buddy, a peer-to-peer, with whom they are spending at least this first 6 months together, and who will be doing exactly what Anton explained. It's not anymore, I would say, this rigid, formal way of mentoring. It's much more that you can drink a coffee, what would you do in this, to share the experience, exchange on certain items, etc. It's also important to state that our team is learning a lot from the interns. So this is for us quite relevant. The good thing is that we have this opportunity of the international internship. So besides all of our colleagues in Croatia, of course, which are prevailing, we are also, let's say, having different interns from Germany, from Australia, from the US. So it's also cool to have this international culture in the office, and everybody is bringing a portion of a different mindset.
That's great. I haven't even asked you, but you also made a great pitch for your company. Teuta, I think with the employer branding being a very big part of the talk in the industry today, this type of communication with onboarding and with new talents, where you are shaping them for their future jobs is so important. And it's nice to hear that you're really digging deep into that. So you will also give us a tour of the Learson offices.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Are we invited, or we are inviting ourselves?
It's an open invite. It's the open invite continuously. So whenever you are somewhere nearby to Rijeka, it will be.
So when we're in Rijeka, we're meeting Alan and you in the same day. You're on the road, the sea of constant innovation and creation. How does that appeal to you personally? Is that something that you try for these two innovation creation parts of work?
Absolutely, yes. I have, there is a saying which states when you're not going fast enough, you're stagnating to a certain extent. So let's say we always have a joke in the company when finally the projects are a bit quiet, that we are in some good track. Then I constantly start with the team to discuss something is not good. We need to now to push forward, etc. So I think that all of us are, what Anton said, quite curious. We have this mindset of continuously bringing something new in. I think it also comes naturally with the stages of the R&D. In a way, when you accomplish a certain project, you learn a lot, and then already different signals are open, and you're already thinking about the next to come as a stage 2 of the research. So I think it also comes naturally. A lot of things in engineering, and it was stated today, can be automized, can be not any longer done manually. So we are really focusing a lot on the core business, how to make it as automated as possible, and really for all of the engineers of the future for their mindset to be used for the critical thinking. So a lot of the side job, let's say, is given to the core business to make it as fluent as possible.
In this type of industry, the responsibility, especially with your role, is huge. How do you handle the responsibility? Are you on okay terms with it?
I respect it a lot. I think it's very important. If you're very blunt, I think a leadership style that I heavily respect is, let's say, a serving type. Something that we try to have as accommodate as a company culture is really for all of our teammates really to serve as a backbone. We are here just to provide a platform for collaboration, and if everything goes well, this is the only role that we need to have. The second thing is the consistency. And if we take an obligation towards someone, etc., it's very important to do it. And sometimes it's quite easy to say, but with all of the things going on, I think this consistency is quite important. Everything else, if you put the right people on the right spots, which all of the colleagues here know, the person will shine and will bring so much more to the team. And we currently are having also on the level of the total group current leadership workshops where everything is to do and starts and ends with the teammates. Because if you have a satisfied person who is on the right position for his competences to shine out, the clients will be happy, the third parties will be happy. So it's very important to continuously invest in our teammates. So this is the idea.
Great, thank you, Teuta. You pitched twice and you succeeded. Alan, to get back to you, you have recently, not so long ago, been awarded for your work in projects that has been implemented in many ports in Croatia. I think this is the best way for the audience to understand the vast impact on society you can have when being part of the industry that you're in. Can you give us some info on that, and just to make a picture how huge and important it is, especially for Croatia?
Alan, you are muted. You should unmute.
The reward was given because I introduced the new methodology to the port of public importance. For example, to 300 ports, we have in Croatia 415 ports, small one, big ones, and we have to make a methodology for each customer to know when he enters some port, what he will get in this port. For now, you have this only one in marinas like at sea or in hotels on land. And now we have done the same methodology, but a little bit different. It has to be different to all other ports. So when everybody comes to some port, they know what he will get there. He will get, I don't know, electricity, water, security, video, silence. He will get some people to wait for him for the boat and so on. And we made this for 300 and some ports in Croatia. So this was the reward for.
It's not just a huge impact on the tourists, it's also for the whole community, for everyone involved in one port, and that are thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, this is the place, because in one port you have, for example, 400 boats. Not only tourist boats, there are persons boats, there are boats coming from making a line to Italy, to other ports in Croatia, and so on. So for all of them, it's very important to know what quantity, what quality they will get when they come to some ports. And the idea was also that, because when you go sleeping in one hotel, you know what you're going to get from 5-star hotel, what you're going to get from 3-star hotel. here in the ports, you didn't know that. So for the Croatian ports that are not in the system of marinas, now they have categorization, and it is unique from the Istria to Dubrovnik.
And are you working also on planning how to skip rows while waiting in the summer days for the
How to skip what?
how to skip the line when you have been waiting for a few hours in the port?
Yeah, let's make relativity. Let's make like Silva. Let's say that we in maybe islands we don't need the traffic. For example, why don't close the islands for the traffic on the land, and make the people who live in the islands to have rent-a-car agencies or similar. So when you come there on the good price to take a car or something like that. So maybe it will be better like this. You know, I don't know if you know, but island Silva doesn't have any traffic on it. So you cannot come with a car or motorcycle. You can take only one carriage and take your luggage like this. So there is a solution. Like Teuta said, and Martina, we need creativity, and this is the response, because if you have liner shipping and all these 70 years waiting in a line for each of us in the summer and giving a state to the companies, I don't know, a couple of 100 millions of kuna or euro to drive this way and not to change anything. Maybe we need creativity, people who wants to make decision makers to change this. Yeah.
What is are there some interesting projects that can maybe be a referral to the subject that we're talking about today, about the vast impact of all people and all creative minds involved in some project that you are maybe working on at the moment?
Yeah, there's one interesting, like Anton said, we need people from different subjects, different expertise. I'm now making a master plan for the Port of Poreč, for example, and it's especially somebody will say just engineering or maritime affairs, but it's not. For example, you have an island across the Poreč, Sveti Nikola, which is owned by Valamar, and for they are very interesting how this port will be developed, you know, because you have to understand they have a couple of boats coming from in and out, how the people will come to the islands. It's a 5-star hotel, for example. Then you have, for example, fishermen. They are also interested in the part of this, how they will be engaged. For example, you cannot make only nautical ports because as a port, you're going to make some more money, you know. You have to have this logistics. Then, for example, cruisers. Poreč doesn't have any cruisers in Poreč. In Rovinj, you have 90. So what's the difference? It's 20 kilometers away, the same history, the same part of the Croatia and everything else. So you have to be involved with lots of people, communicate to see what they need, what can you produce, and never forget about the citizens also who live there. For example, tourists, they come to the hotel. You cannot put a cruiser with 3,000 people coming to the same, you know, church or something, and then you have to wait, like you said, 1 hour. So you will destroy the stationary tourism. So it's lots of these things that you have to have in mind and to make a good master plan for the Port of Poreč.
So multidisciplinary, like we all said.
Yes, like we are here. Yeah.
Like we are, yeah. We are blooming today.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alan, Martina. With all that we have said today, on one side, in the media and all around, we have a fear of AI taking people's jobs. But on the other hand, what I hear from all of you today is that the need is for capable, creative, and forward-thinking individuals, and it will probably grow exponentially. Am I right, or am I just creating another utopia?
I don't think you're creating utopia for sure. I would just say that a lot of research, like I said already, are estimating that a lot of jobs will disappear, but nobody's talking about how many new jobs will be created. So if you, right now, like I mentioned, we mentioned product managers, AI product managers, AI engineers, and so on. If you mention those names a couple of years ago, I would say, nobody knew what they're about. So they have been created as technology was developing. So I think we will have new jobs, even more interesting jobs, and so on. And also, I agree with all the panelists. Like you said, we will always need creative, different, cool people who are going to create some new value and create some new products and shift the world for a bit. So that's a bit utopia, I know, but I definitely agree that we will always need creative people. And regarding AI, I don't personally believe, and it's not something that association believes, that AI will replace people, but it will be replaced people who don't use AI with the people who use AI. So you have to optimize your work. You have to be faster than you were before, and you have all kinds of tools to do that.
Teuta, inside the Lursen group, what are the skills and specific knowledges that you will be needing from your employees in the future? Are there some job openings at the moment? Which problems do you need to tackle with the right people?
So it's continuously open positions. So besides the regular engineering ones, so electrical engineers, system integrators, software developers of different kind, project managers. So this is also a skill which when the machines will be doing a lot of things, you will still need to have a very strong leadership around. Planners, schedulers, we also, so it's continuously different needs. I would say that the projects dictate. And the beauty is in this polyvalent teams, I would say. So this is now becoming natural. Each and every project that you start requires this completely different thinking. So different data analysts, etc. So it's fun, I would say.
Do you need storytellers?
Absolutely. Not open yet, but good to think about. But I can find some already in this call.
Yeah, great. Then we succeeded in our mission today. Anton, the same question for you. What do you see how do you see the future tech employee? What is his knowledge and what is he needed for?
Yeah, good question. I do agree with Martina that we are shifting towards AI. I would call it data, though. I think AI doesn't exist without good data, and data engineers, data scientists, and AI engineers is also in the same bucket. I think this will grow more and more, and then still our systems to serve our engineering products that will be data powered or AI powered. They are not self-service yet. It's not like 25 years ago, there was an internet boom. And at that time, we needed network engineers still to figure out how do we serve internet pages. We needed, 15 years ago, we needed like really strong distributed systems engineer to figure out how we build Facebook or how we build Google. I think today more and more, if you want to build a web page, you wouldn't write any code. Like if you want, for example, for this conference, I don't believe you needed to hire software engineers to build code that will power up the conference. This was already built. I don't think we are there when it comes to serving data-driven products or AI products. So we will still be needing those, but I believe that in 20 years, maybe 10, 20 years, even that will all be self-served. It will definitely change. What will remain is definitely, everyone mentioned, problem-solving skills. I would say growth mindset, communication in a more and more remote engineering world, remote world in general. Communication is extremely important. I don't have the luxury to invite my 3 other teammates in front of a whiteboard and explain them something like face-to-face, and we quickly agree on a design that we will pursue. I must be able to communicate this over maybe 9 hours of time zone differences in text. I must be able to communicate remotely, and that is one thing that will start to be more and more important in future.
So you already answered my last question about the soft skills that we need. We have talked about hard ones. We have talked about some soft skills, but I would really like to finish off this panel with soft skills. And what you said, we didn't need the new code for the panel, but all I needed was 5 really inspiring humans. So it's not the end still, but I just want to thank you, because I really am thankful that I got the chance to meet you and hear your stories. Alan, so the question of soft skills, when we think of university, we think of all knowledge or all hard skills. You have everything you need for the world, but then the story is just starting. What do you find to be also the most important soft skill, or maybe a few of them?
I will talk here about also, I'm the president supervisory board of Portal for Luka Rijeka also, so we have 600 people working. And as a professor on the faculty, I can say I'm scary, but I think some lack skills are decision making. I see a really big problem in this part, because communication is also one thing very, very important for all of this we said, but decision makers is something that I see that we have a lack of it, and from the faculty to the afterwards when you come to the job. So I'm scared how we're going to do this. I think we have to put more courses, more everything, and how to people help them to be able to make some decisions. I see this in practice, and for me, this with creativity and one also skills we didn't talk about it, improvisation. I also think it's going to be very, very necessary for everybody, because all this what you're talking about, new technologies and everything with what's going on, you will need to be to improvise. You need time to sometimes put some solutions in motion. So for that time, when you get an answer or you get some application or what, you have to improvise. So it's these skills, I would say, will be very, very important.
I love this skill. Thank you, Alan, for putting it out there. Martina?
I believe that we said more or less everything, and so I don't want to repeat. And I actually love this. I never thought about this, like improvising and everything. So I love this last comment from Alan, and I don't think I have to add anything else.
Is there something else that you want to add? Not just on soft
There's something else that I didn't have a chance to refer to, is that what I think Anton mentioned and Teuta is mentors. I think one of the best opportunities that I have through CroAI, that I enter here during my student life, and I was, since the beginning, I was surrounded by the best people from every field, and I had one of the best mentors. I still have them, and I want to have them even more, because every single one of them is like covering a certain topic, from, I don't know, engineering, from policy, from marketing, from, I don't know, faculties, and how to communicate with all those people, how to handle teams, how to handle a business, how to handle certain, I would say, meetings and so on. And all these people help me to move faster, I would say, to skip some steps and to learn from someone else's mistakes and so on. So I would say that my last advice to all of you who are listening to this is surround yourself with the best mentors. It's going to help you so much.
Thank you, Martina. Teuta, a closing word or a skill or something that we still haven't mentioned?
Everything was said. Only on my end, we are really focusing on the mindset. I think that the mindset is the main thing when somebody is, let's say, entering our company. We are really the doers. So we like to say there is nothing that we cannot do. It can only really cost a lot, and it can take really a lot of amount of money. And we are always stating to the young colleagues, do not waste our time in explaining why something cannot be done. Go home, think about it, and when you are ready, come with some proposals. So this is something that we are true believers. I like when Anton, everybody said it very well, and then what Anton is saying is becoming very important topic is this remote communication. Meaning when we sit around the table, everything is much easier when we get to know each other in person, etc. But we need to become quite knowledgeable about communicating online and having this virtual teams performing good. So this is what we are currently also quite focused on.
Great, Teuta, and also communicating with the machines. We have never done that before in our lifetime. So getting there to see who will be smarter. Thank you all so much. It was so inspiring for me. I imagine that the audience is also in love with what you're doing, and I hope that we have arised some more questions and maybe moved some paths to a career change or choosing a career. You were a great influence. Keep up doing what you're doing and inspiring us all. I really want to thank you for being here with me today, all of you, Alan, Anton, Teuta, Martina.
Isabella, thank you for guiding us through. So you were the essence of bringing us together with your questions. So well done, honestly.
Thank you. Alan, I was improvising.
Yeah, of course. And it went very well, you know. It went very well, you know.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for listening and being here with us today. The video will be on the platform, as I said at the beginning. Please do join other interesting panels, one-on-ones, and talk shows that will follow at the Virtual Tech Job Expo 2023. Goodbye. And don't get
all the best to all of you. Thank you.
Don't get stuck with the code.
Bye.
Don't get stuck with the code.
See you soon. See you later. Okay.